in the whole world, sings like an angel, Chauvelin Renfro.
For giving me this opportunity and chance to share with you all. So tonight I'm going to share what I was praying before Love is Red, what I got after Love is Red, and different things that I've been dealing with. So before Love is Red, I was praying about a few different things. The first thing I'm going to talk on was my future. I wanted some answers on my future. And Jaden, a preacher there, he really helped me. And he said, I don't know what the future holds, but I do know who holds it. And he's saying that God holds our future. And I know I'm only a freshman in high school, but I still wanted to figure out what God has planned for me and what my future will hold. Sometimes I feel like we get scared just because we can't see our future, but that doesn't mean that God doesn't know our future, because He does. Jeremiah 29:11 was a verse that we all know. I got the Amplified version. For I know the plans and thoughts I have for you, says the Lord. Plans for peace and well-being, and not for disaster, but to give you hope and a future. We're not in control, but we are deeply loved by the one who is. A quote that I found by Max Lucado says, God says, don't worry about your future. He is the author of your story, and He's already written the final chapter. If you want to have peace about where you're headed, you won't get there by worrying. You'll get there by trusting and knowing that God is. Another verse I wanted to look at was Philippians 4:6-7, the New Living Translation. It says, don't worry about anything. Instead, pray about everything. Tell God what you need and thank Him for all He has done. Then you will experience God's peace, which exceeds anything you can understand. His peace will guard your hearts and minds as you live in Christ. The attacks on your life are not about who you have been in the past, but who you might be in the future. Josh at Love is Red said, you will never be able to fulfill your purpose if you're hiding. I know that I want to fulfill my purpose. I don't want to hide in what God has for me. So you can't hide from God. You have to go after what He has for you. God will never negatively change your future, but the devil will try, but that's only if you let him. One thing that also shapes our future is who we hang out with. We're so blessed, and I'm so grateful that I have the opportunity to go to church here, and go to Love is Red, and go to camp, and all these things that we do as a church, because I receive stuff every time. Sometimes as teenagers, we get caught up in issues that at the end of the day have such little impact on our future. But one of the greatest challenges for people today is peer pressure. I say that because for the rest of our life, people will try to tell us to be a certain way or to do certain things that can affect our future. Questions I have for you all and myself is, who are we allowing to put pressure on our life? Who or what are you allowing to control your life? Is it your friends? Is it sports? Is it school? Because none of those are right. The only person you should let control your life is God. When I lay my head down at night, and I don't have my phone, and I'm not on Snapchat, and Instagram, and Twitter, and I'm not watching Netflix, that's when I think the most, because I don't want that distraction. And while I'm laying my head, that's when I start to think about everything. Who I really am, what I did that day, and I think about how I affected other people's life, but also how other people affected my life. That goes on to the next thing I was praying about at Love is Red, which was wanting to impact people's lives. I want to bring people here. I want our Corey group to get bigger so we can touch more people's lives. And I feel like today in society, everybody is stuck with labels. She or he is fat or skinny or rich, poor, ugly, nice, smart. My question is why? I don't understand why we need labels. The only label God ever gave us were His sons and daughters, His creation. So why today is everything good or bad? God never created bad labels. Man did. We today have created everything bad that's here today because He didn't create anything bad. So Why are we today so quick to judge other people and put labels on people, but slow to understand that when we do that, we also have an issue within ourselves? We can only allow people to hurt us. This all goes for me as well. A verse that I found that I really thought go with this was Matthew 7, 1 verse through 5. It says, "For you will be treated as you treat others. The standard you use in judging is the standard by which you will be judged. How can you think of saying to your friend, let me help you get rid of the speck in your eye when you can't see past the log in your own eye? You hypocrite. First, get rid of the log in your own eye, then you will be able to deal with the speck in your friend's eye." Summing this up, what I got out of this verse was that we're so quick to judge other people and not look at our own life and see that not only does someone else that they could have an issue, but so do you. You don't judge people because, if I can be honest, nobody in this room is perfect. We all have mistakes. We all have something that we're not proud of, something we did. So you have no right to judge because no one in this room is perfect, and God is perfect, and guess what? He doesn't judge. So if he's perfect and he can't judge, then that doesn't give us any right to judge. So before Love is Red, I was really dealing with all this because I really want to be able to impact people's lives for the good way. And so I was thinking what I needed to be praying about for all this, because I have a heart for reaching out for people and trying to get them to come here. Something I enjoy is bringing people here and letting them see how we're such a family here and how we can treat others. Now, I brought a few different people here, and I've gotten comments every time, and I absolutely love them getting to come here and me getting to impact them. So I was praying, and I said to God, I don't know how I can impact more people's lives and bring in more people here, but I know you can help me. I know a lot of you have gotten comments from your friend like, oh, I can't tonight, oh, I'm busy, and I have to, and I get it almost every week. But that still doesn't mean that we can't continuously try. If you give up one time, that person's life, they could miss something that you didn't invite them again. So it's important to see people the way God sees them. When bringing people here to church, we need to treat them how you would want to be treated if you were new here. I want to be able to inspire people and let them see what God has for them. So from preschool to 6th grade, I went to Christian Academy, and I was very sheltered there. And then I came to a public school in 8th grade, which is way different from a Christian school. We all wore the same thing at Christian Academy. We all believed in God, and we all knew who He was. So when I came to a public school, I was introduced to a whole new perspective on things. I learned so many new things that I didn't even know existed. But I had enough in me, and I was strong enough to stand and not fall into all the temptations around me. Going into a public school, I was scared. I thought that it could change me, but I actually was getting the opportunity to change others. When Mekon was preaching, I absolutely loved his perspective on the story of Joseph. I never heard it that way, and so when he was preaching that, it hit me that we need to be like that. We need to run to God when we mess up or when we fail something. It's not over when we do. We can go back to Him, and we can go to Him every time. He said at Love is Red, he said, we have nothing to offer God. He doesn't need us here, because He had everything. He could do anything with the snap of His finger, which means that He wants us here. He wants us. And at the end of the day, it's not about what you have or what you have accomplished in life. It's about who you have lifted up, who you have made better, and what you give back. So that's all I have. Thank
She's one of those people that kind of just makes you a little mad on the inside because, she can sing better than you can. She brings way more people to church than you do. And now she can even preach better than you can. So, feel sorry for the guy who's going next. But next up, we have a very good friend of mine, a man that loves God and hates trees.